Good evening and thanks for watching News at 8 on Times Television. You're with me, Wonder Msisia. Faced the headlines. Parliament supports calls to have Section 14 of the Legal Aid Act amended. Deputy Education Minister commends good start to Standard 8 examinations. And First Lady Monica Chakwera launches a booklet of her life story. We have these and other stories. Please do stay with us. The Legal Affairs Committee of Parliament has thrown its weight behind calls by the Legal Aid Bureau to have Section 14 of the Legal Aid Act amended. In its current state, the section does not allow paralegals to represent people in the court, but the Bureau wants this amended so that marginalized people should have representation at magistrate level. Wezi Gausi with the story.
The committee brought together stakeholders in the legal profession to a round-table meeting to hear their stand on the matter. Vice Chairperson of the committee, McDowell Mkandawire, says all stakeholders that were present at the round table supported the amendment of the Act.
It is clear that most of them are for change. Change in the sense that they would like paralegals in various entities to be given a limited audience to represent vulnerable people.
A representative of the stakeholders, who also happens to be the chairperson of Prison Inspectorate, Justice Kenan Manda, says the country has people sent to prison when they are not supposed to.
We hope and trust that we have provided the Legal Affairs Committee with enough information as to the inadequacy of legal representation in our courts.
The Legal Aid Bureau Director Masauko Chankakara says the issue of amending the section is not for personal gain, but rather to help vulnerable people in the rural areas.
These paralegals have been working in the justice system since 1964. And from my recollection, nobody has raised issues as to their standards or to their competence or to their knowledge. Now, why should these things arise now? Is it simply because they're coming to the Legal Aid Bureau? So that's our view, to say these people are competent to handle the matters which we believe they should be handling.
Meanwhile, Legal Aid Bureau says 90% of people in the country do not have legal representation.
Government says 81 ex-miners who worked in South Africa between 1970 and 1988 will start receiving their pension money next month. Deputy Minister of Labour Vera Kamtukule said this on Wednesday at a news conference in Lilongwe. She explains.
We received a list of 450 verified names from the Providence Fund in South Africa, and from that 450 we managed to trace about 81 of them. And so 81 that have complete documentation as far as the fund were concerned. So we have sent those 81 names, and we are expecting that in the next coming months they should start receiving their money.
Deputy Minister of Labour Vera Kamtukule. And First Lady Monica Chakwera has launched her life story booklet and video documentary aimed at igniting hope in the girl child to complete education. The booklet carries an underlying message that coming from a poor background should not be used as an excuse for failure to pursue one's dreams. Audrey Kapalamura reports.
The booklet has been designed and customized for children targeting those in rural areas. It underscores the unlimited potential of the girl child amid various challenges they face to access education. Chakwera says it is her desire to see that girls remain in school, as education is a key to the country's future.
It is my desire that this story will give hope to the girls of this great nation, especially those struggling to make it every single day of their lives, and to those coming from disadvantaged families. I pray that they will be empowered to realize their dreams without giving up to fate which renders them vulnerable.
She says the booklet will influence the custodians of culture to encourage education of the girl child in their communities. With support from Plan International Malawi, the booklet narrates how the First Lady managed to attain education with the family support. Plan International Malawi Country Director Phoebe Kasoga says they have made sure the production is not politicized in order to sustain its relevance.
And documenting this story is a typical testament that dreams can be achieved, that dreams never have to end up in the grave because we never lived them, but we actually lived them in this life.
Minister for Education Agnes Nyalonje says her ministry would use the booklet as a case study to inspire girls to remain in school.
It is also a book that can work at the level of community leaders, at the level of faith leaders, and so on. Everywhere where there's a platform where the story of the girl child has to be told, this is a good way to tell it, and it gives us all a common platform from which to begin.
According to Plan International Malawi, the booklet would be localized with support from other stakeholders.
Deputy Minister of Education, Madalitso Kambauwa Wirima, has commended stakeholders for a successful start to the administration of primary school Leaving Certificate of Education examinations. Wirima said this when she visited schools in Cholo and Mulanje on Thursday to appreciate first-hand administration of the exam. Details in this report by Luele Nimpasa, but read in our studios by Elvis Hoahoa.
Kambauwa Wirima said this when she monitored administration of primary school Leaving Certificate examinations at Impinji LEA, Nansato for Primary School, John the CCAP and the Gambola FP schools. The Deputy Minister says she is impressed that the exams have started very well, with only a few challenges being observed.
I'm very happy actually, not just to not want to seem like we have challenges, but the challenges actually to do with the exams themselves are very minimal. Mostly it's to do with actually issue of identification cards that the students didn't get. But fortunately, this issue was addressed right from the beginning when the management noticed that, administrators noticed that some learners didn't have their IDs. They moved in to find solutions. Sometimes the issues that affecting the administration of exams, that if we're just sitting at the office, we'll not be able to be able to pick on them. If we do pick on them, it might be a little late. Sometimes the interventions you can actually do in your monitoring, but basically we just want to see. It also allows us to also kind of appreciate the kind of environment our learners are learning in. So just being able to be on the ground, appreciate the infrastructure issues, the administration of the exams issues itself, and other issues that just may be there because you can never know. That's why we came out.
One of the candidates sitting for the exams, Doreen Pambala, says the exams have started well and she is very confident.
We were adequately prepared for the exams. Our teachers ensured that enough time was spent giving us the opportunity to master the relevant concepts.
About 281,000 learners are writing the PSLCE examinations nationwide this year.
The Ministry of Health has started distributing iron folic acid tablets to adolescent girls across the country as one way of preventing anemia and malnutrition. Ministry of Health spokesperson Adrian Chikumbe says they are working hand in hand with the Ministry of Education to reach out to girls. Blessings Mpinganjira has filed this report.
According to Chikumbe, the girls will be receiving 1 tablet of iron folic acid per week for 52 weeks, and the age range is between 9 and 19 years. He added the program is ongoing and is part of the Ministry of Health's initiative to increase nutrition supplements among adolescent girls to reduce anemia.
We're going to provide this iron to adolescents, and we'll continue doing it in all the districts. And it's working well because we're working with the Ministry of Education. That's why we are able to reach out to these girls in schools. And as long as we have stocks, we're going to keep providing the iron tablets to our children, to our girls.
The program is currently underway in primary and secondary schools among adolescent girls, and those in rural areas will be reached by health surveillance officers.
Malawi Electoral Commission, MEC, has called on religious leaders to help in disseminating information about the ongoing constituency and ward boundary demarcation exercise. MEC chairperson Chifundo Kachale says the electoral body wants to engage stakeholders who can help in informing the citizenry on the exercise. According to Kachale, informed citizens will provide effective feedback on how best MEC can review ward and constituency boundaries in the country. TSM Onjeza has found this story, which Thomas Kachere is reading.
Kachale was speaking in Zomba when the electoral body engaged quasi-religious grouping Public Affairs Committee PAC on the constituency demarcation exercise. Kachale said MEC recognizes the crucial role religious grouping can play in the exercise. He further said the electoral body was impressed with the response from various stakeholders.
By ensuring that we're sharing the methodology we're using with all the stakeholders very openly, and also assuring them that when we develop our preliminary maps, they're going to have an opportunity to give us their feedback.
Public Affairs Committee Chairperson Monsignor Patrick Tawali pledged to support the initiative, adding that the exercise was part of promoting democracy.
As PAC, our views are that if the constituencies are increased and it serves the purpose of respecting each individual's vote, then we go for it. That will be our stand.
MEC has been visiting different stakeholders at district level, where the electoral body is sensitizing communities on the exercise while also getting the public's view, which will lead to the formulation of wards and constituencies to be used in the 2025 general elections. The demarcation comes after the last ward and constituency review exercise was done in 1998.
Minister of Youth Ulemu Msungama says gender-based violence and teen pregnancies remain the biggest challenge among the youth in the country. He made the remarks in Deza during the launch of a project called Teen Mothers and Adolescent Girls. The 5 billion Kwacha project will be implemented in 6 traditional authorities in Inchinji and Dedza districts. Audrey Kapalamula is reading a story found by Imamu Wali.
Nsungama says the country is registering such cases almost every day. He says there is need for concerted efforts among all stakeholders to deal with the challenge.
There are quite a number of challenges involved in this project. And so just sure, but there are a lot of issues to do with gender-based violence, teen pregnancies, that makes the girl child to leave escape sometimes and be forced into early marriage, which is quite a challenge. So that's one of the major challenges. That's one of the major challenges that we have. So considering the fact that we as government, we are here to make sure that we help our children, our girls.
There's a district commissioner, Emmanuel Burukutu, said 11% of young people in Dedza are involved in early marriages. UNFPA representative Wasaki Watabi says the program is aimed at addressing teen marriages in the 2 districts.
There are still a number of areas where we can see gaps. We need to continue to support girls' access to the basic information and services around what we call sexual reproductive health and rights, so that they can make informed choices about when to have babies or whether to have babies. Another area is, of course, to provide community support for those vulnerable young women and adolescent girls.
The 5 billion project targets 216,000 adolescents in Dedza and Inchinji, with support from the government of Korea through Korea International Corporation and United Nations Population Fund, Malawi Girl Guide Association, YouthNet and Counseling, and Family Planning Association of Malawi are project implementation partners.
You're watching news at 8 on Times Television, TTV, and Times 360 Malawi Facebook page. We'll be back after this short break.
We all start differently, but we can all start with the strongest protection. Because some start early, others start late. Some from little homes, others from big ones. Some start together, or all on their own.
It doesn't matter how you start, as long as you start strong. With new Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection. Now with fluoride plus arginine for 4 times more strengthening power. So that you can give them the strongest start to their day. Colgate. Start strong, stay strong.
Mona Malawi anzanga. Nkhondo yogonjetsa COVID-19 ndi ya wina aliyense. Tili limodzi. Ine ndinasankha kulandira katemera wa COVID-19 atangoyamba kuperekedwa. Chifukwa monga namwino, moyo wanga, umoyo wa odwala amene ndimawasamalira, abale anga, ndi dera langa, ndi zinthu zomwe ndimazika pa mtima panga kwambiri. Katemera wa COVID-19 anditeteza ine ndi ena omwe analandira katemerayo ku chiopsezo choti tingadwale mwakayakaya, kugonekedwa mchipatala, kapena kutaya moyo wathu chifukwa cha COVID-19. Kulandira katemerayo kutithandiza kuthana ndi mliri wa COVID-19 limodzi.
Ziwani zambiri za katemerayo ndi kupanga chisankho cha nzeru. Sankhani katemera, tetezani tsogolo.
If there's one thing that all soaps do, it's wash. From buckets to basins, bathrooms to streams, and everything in between.
All soaps wash.
Yes, but Protex is different. Its reinvented formula with flaxseed oil boosts your skin's natural anti-germ defenses by 10 times more, protecting you against 99.9% of germs. So what keeps us healthy?
Protex!
Good health starts here.
Welcome back. You're watching News at 8 on Times Television, TTV, and Times 360 Malawi Facebook page. Reports indicate that there is still a low turnout of males attending adult literacy education, despite the country literacy levels having improved from 25% in 1979 to 65% in 2019. This was revealed during this year's commemoration of International Literacy Day, a national event which was held in Rumpi district on Wednesday. Sam Kalimira has the full story.
At the event, it was observed that out of 10 graduating adult literacy education students, only one was a male, a development which worried both government and stakeholders. Rumpi District Council Chairperson Happy Chirambo said currently the district has over 4,000 learners in adult education, but disclosed that only less than 900 are male. UNESCO Malawi National Commission Acting Executive Secretary David Mulera agreed with Chirambo, saying Malawi has made some progress in improving literacy levels, arguing the statistics are showing that over 60% of the country's population is literate.
When you look at the cumulative figures, the absolute figures of the number of people that are illiterate, the figures are huge and shocking because they are in the region of 5 million people. And it means that the work is cut out for all of us to do more, to encourage people, to sensitize people about the importance of accessing literacy programs. So that is why this event is very important.
In her remarks, Patricia Galiati, Minister of Gender, Children and Community Development, said the government is planning to establish early childhood development centers in an effort to deal with adult illiteracy by 2030.
And we have a number of classes with the support from Save the Children. We have the Life International, World Vision, International Action Aid. All these, they're having also programs in the adult literacy, and they're helping us with different institutions, different localities with the adult literacy program. So we are doing well. We are moving in that direction, and what we are looking forward now is make sure that as we patronize the adult literacy, we need to do that, the ECD. In each and every primary school, we need to have all those.
This year's International Literacy Day was commemorated under the theme, The Right to Literacy in Times of COVID-19, to contribution of digital literacy and distance learning.
And in international news, Kenyan authorities says the economic impact of COVID-19 pandemic has forced thousands of youth onto the streets, and many are turning to crime. To meet the challenge, aid groups are trying to reintegrate homeless youth through sports with the goal of keeping them out of trouble. More in this VOA report.
Anthony Ndegwa recalls the day he fled his volatile Nairobi home after ongoing domestic violence over low income. His mother was stabbed by his angry aunt.
I came back home from school. My mother and brother had gone to the hospital. I changed and left the house to join my friends on the streets. I was afraid my aunt would stab me too. Since then, I lived on the streets.
Nikaenda nao pia mimi bado naogopa nizarudi anti yangu nimpate pia mimi anidunge. Toka hiyo siku nikatokanga home nikakaa huku nje.
He's among hundreds of youth now off the streets thanks to aid groups that are rehabilitating homeless youth through football. Shuba Wango says the program gives them a chance to gradually reintegrate street youth back to the society and get regular meals as the COVID-19 pandemic continues to disrupt livelihoods.
Most of them love sports, so we use that sport. We organize games so that those who want to play and are on the street are willing to leave everything else just so that they can play. And as a coach, I can't let them go back to the street after playing.
Scores of the homeless have been rescued from the streets under the Kenyan government rehabilitation program since May. The program aims to rescue at least 500 youth from the street.
There's someone who goes to the streets and talk to the children. Then we have a specific day of bringing them here. And now also bringing here, which means there are basic needs that they have to be given or to be provided. We have food, we have medication.
The program can only make a small dent in the larger problem. Nairobi has an estimated 60,000 street families, an increase from 15,000 before the pandemic. The number is likely to remain high until the Kenyan economy rebounds from the pandemic. Victoria Amunga for VOA News, Nairobi.
That VOA report concludes the news, but before we go, the headlines again. Parliament supports calls to have Section 14 of the Legal Aid Act amended. Deputy Education Minister commends good start to Standard 8 examinations. And First Lady Monica Chakwera launches a booklet of her life story. Remember, you can get more on these and other stories by visiting our website www.times.mw, liking our Facebook page Times 360 Malawi, subscribing to 1895, and following us on Twitter at Times 360 Malawi. Remember to wash your hands regularly, observe social and physical distance, mask up and get vaccinated to prevent COVID-19. Please stay safe. You've been with me, Wonder Msisi. I wish you a lovely evening and continue watching the rest of the programs. Good night.
Life, obviously, income.
Mona Malawi anzanga. Nkhondo yogonjetsa COVID-19 ndiya wina aliyense. Tili limodzi. Ine ndinasankha kulandira